Hey there folks, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the newly released Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man No Way Home MJ figures. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so right off the bat I'm going to tell you that I think this figure is overall pretty solid. It does have a few issues, none of which really bother me that much, but they are worth mentioning, so we're going to get into that. I think we should probably start off with that. There's a few things. First up, she's not completely accurate. If you actually watch the film, this whole lower section right here isn't accurate. And I only know this because I was looking up the image of Andrew catching her because I wanted to recreate the pose. This isn't accurate. She doesn't have this cut in the jeans, and then also she's actually wearing Doc Marten boots, not these more feminine looking, these more lady boots. Female boots, whatever, I don't know. And that's just because they reused the figure, which I'm not overly upset with. I mean, it's a MJ figure. I can understand them not wanting to make completely new tooling for it. They already had to retool the head, or make a new head, and then they had to do all this, the arms and stuff like that. I understand them not wanting to do the entire figure over again, especially since I've already seen videos of these going on clearance in stores. The figures just came out and they're already trying to get rid of all these MJs. So I'm not surprised. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. It's accurate enough. You can see a little bit of skin. She's wearing a boot, and then the legs or the pants stop short. It's accurate enough for me, so I don't care. But like I said, it was worth mentioning. But the thing that I do have an issue with, more so, it's not, I still don't care that much, but it's a bigger issue for me. It's the height. She's a little bit too tall and too short in some instances. If you have the Peter and Ned 2-pack, she's too short because they made Peter and Ned too tall. This Peter is way too tall just in general. He's only the right height for the original homemade suit Spider-Man and then the new Final Swing Spider-Man because they upscaled him. So this figure is too big, and that Ned figure is too big as well. But so that's where the first issue comes in, is she's short compared to the Peter that's supposed to be in her own line. And then she's the same height as the previous style of Marvel figures, or the previous style of MCU Spider-Mans. She's already taller than Tom Holland, and then she's supposed to be wearing boots, and you can see that they're roughly the same height if Peter's not a little bit taller. So the only way you're going to be able to get a really accurate No Way Home display, if you have them standing up next to each other, is if you use the first integrated suit Spider-Man from SH Figuarts, because you can see that they upscaled the new one so that they're the same height, and then the first one was the one that's the correct scale. Now that has nothing to do with SH Figuarts. That's not their fault at all. It's just Marvel Legends made this figure too tall. So I would rather use this figure. And again, it doesn't bother me if they're the same height. And I'm sure some people would prefer them to be the same height anyway. But in actuality, she should be taller. So I just figured that's worth mentioning. But as far as her accessories go, let's move on to that. She comes with these two more open hands. These more relaxed hands, which are what they give her to hold this. And it does work out well enough. It takes a little bit of patience, but it can be done. And then she gets two fist figures, or two fist hands. And as far as the box goes, it works out well enough. It's got a little bit of green on it, which is apparently more accurate than the SH Figuarts ones, for an example. But it's a little bit big, and it looks a little bit bland. And also I'm noticing now that there's not the little triangle piece. Oh, there it is. It's right here. So the actual button. I prefer the SH Figuarts one. And this is also quite a bit bigger as well. I'm not going to pull that down for an example right now. I'm sure there's other videos that you guys can see where there's a comparison between the two. I'm not going to go through and do all that right now, but as far as the MJ figure goes, it's pretty solid. They did a really nice job on the head sculpt. I think maybe they could have added an interchangeable head where she looks more concerned. That way you can use her for those falling poses or when Andrew catches her, something like that. You can use a little bit more of a concerned head. And the sweater looks pretty good. I'm not entirely sure how accurate it is. I did see Can I Make It repaint his vest, or his, I don't know why I keep wanting to call it a vest, repaint his sweater. If you haven't watched any of his videos, definitely go ahead and check them out. Really nice customizer on YouTube. But I did see him like add blue or black to it or something like that, so it might not be accurate. Can't remember, or I don't know for sure. But I think overall it looks pretty nice, and I think it's pretty creative how they were able to reuse this and just give it a new overlay. Maybe they shouldn't have done that, but I understand them, like I said, not wanting to completely make a new MJ figure when their stores are already trying to put it on clearance. So articulation, let's go on to articulation. If we pop the head off here, you can see it's a ball joint with a hinge. So you get some swivel action. Your head can look up this far. Be careful of your ponytail though. There's actually, am I mistaken? Okay, so that is something I do have a problem with. There's paintwork, and this might just be my figure now that I think about it. It might not be an issue going on all around. I'm not sure, but there's a lighter brown. There's highlights on her ponytail, and then they're not on the rest of the figure. They're not on the rest of the head. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's highlights on the ponytail and then not the rest. So that I have a problem with. I'm not sure if everybody's figure's like that or if it's just a misprint on mine. I'm not sure. But back to the articulation. Her head can look up that far, can look down that far, and you get a little bit of head tilt. Her arms can move up horizontally. And then full rotation. Get really nice single jointed elbows and then a rotation down there. Your bicep swivel. And then your wrist hinge and swivel, all that. Both hands are like that, or both sets of hands are like that. There is a diaphragm joint, which you do get a little bit of movement out of, but not a whole lot. Swivel. Lace can move out that far, up that far, back just a little bit, thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and then you get, there's no hinge in there, but you get a, or no swivel, you get a ankle moves down that far, up really far, and then you get an ankle pivot. Yeah, so, but as far as size comparisons go for the rest of them, here's your Andrew that comes in the same wave here. And then here's an altered Toby, but I don't have my unaltered one on hand right now. His height's not really any different. Slightly shorter because I did some stuff to his feet, widened his lats, and then widened his shoulders. But as far as his height goes, it's not going to be really any different. So there's that. Here is your final Swing Spider-Man. Next to an actual Peter Parker figure. See, this is way inaccurate. But yeah, guys, and actually for the last size comparison, here's your Sentinel Spidey. So there you go. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell. All of that would be greatly appreciated if you decide to do so. And of course, until next time, true believers.